Okay, we are rolling.
Name for the camera, please.
James Graham.
My name is Devin Carlson.
My name is Celeste Barnes.
My name is Joel Kearley.
My name is Jesse Pollard.
My name is Brian Cully.
I'm Matthew Gall.
I am officially the professor in charge of this class, and I'm also in the game. I'm the video game producer, and I'm also the game designer. So the name of the game is Luna, and so it's obviously it's refers to the moon. The character is a female. It's aimed at ages 8 to 12 demographic, but it can obviously be played by people of a wider age range. And the idea is to make a game that is enjoyable to play. I think the game design itself is unique. It approaches the idea of play at its most essence, that it should be like Christmas. There should be a series of surprises, happy surprises, that there can be some questionable parts where you think, oh, something's in the dark, or is this creature going to be friendly? But ultimately, you can always feel confident that whatever will come of the creature, or whatever you find out about a discovery that you make, will always be a positive, beneficial element to your existence. So there should never be any sort of trepidation that you'll step in a vat of acid or something like that. And I think that's been one of the interesting challenges here. We use every program. We use anything we could get our hands on. I think it's been a really innovative, interesting experience because we've worked in collaboration with Digital Audio Arts. We also have a graduate student of mine. We have a TA who's very, very experienced in game engine use. And then we also have a fantastic collection of very skilled and very interested students. And so those students bring with them a wealth of abilities, technical abilities, and understanding of certain technical processes, and so it's all come together. The easiest part of the job, I think, was the point of, I guess it started maybe just a few weeks ago, of sort of standing back from it and saying things are working now, things are moving forward.
Easiest part. I don't think there's been an easy part.
Just pick one.
I don't know, it's all been, I don't know, it hasn't been easy, but it's been fun.
The easiest part of the Nectar deity was probably figuring out what I wanted to use as a base for it. I mean, wanted something completely out of this world, so I was able to kind of have a kind of free flow with it. And I wanted something that would be separated from the other creatures in the game in just a stylistic way, so you got the idea that this was something a little bigger. So I went figuring out, like, well, we're going to choose, like, it's got to involve flowers because there's nectar, and what's with flowers, bugs, and that was just a natural process.
Easiest part, everyone was pretty genuinely wanted to work, so talking to people and getting them to do stuff and organizing kind of thoughts and meeting and things was pretty easy.
Probably the modeling itself, like just working on my own models and everything, because that's kind of what we all been trained for through our degree and everything. We know how to model, so I'd say that'd be probably the easiest part.
Talking to people. People are all interested in this, and getting people to, they're all excited about the same project, so it's just approaching people I found has been the easiest part.
The easiest part was actually setting up the Perforce server and setting up that environment, just simply from my background. It was the easiest. And then as well, doing the programming and stuff like that. We haven't been able to get to the Kismet programming, which you do right in UDK itself, because we didn't have assets to be able to work with, and we have to actually have the assets and maps and things like that, so that's still to come.
Designing the terrain right now has been the hardest part. I mean, it wasn't just my vision that created this terrain. I mean, I had other people that do drawings. I had people telling me what should be in there, what shouldn't be in there. Then I had to make my own interpretations and try and make something that was cohesive and functional. It was difficult. It took a lot of time.
The hardest part of the Nectar Deity was probably just putting it all together. I mean, you have all these ideas like flowers and bugs and what kind of bug are you going to use. You end up researching just like the very physiology of these bugs and then putting it together in a way that is believable and I don't want to say realistic, but it makes sense. Organic, that's really hard.
Probably like what I mentioned, that the level design kind of touches on a lot of other elements that weren't actually teams. Like the way that you program or design a level sort of implies a narrative, for instance. So that's kind of something we have to consider when we're making it, as well as incorporating everything, all the assets that everyone has done, going through the UDK Unreal Development Kit engine.
Hardest part was coordinating everybody and making sure there's people that weren't just sitting there not doing anything and trying to get, all the assets reassigned and all that kind of stuff. Really difficult.
The hardest part of this video game process is the nature of being a student and handling everything else. It's unfortunately we have to balance everything else, but we can't always do the video game nonstop.
The hardest part was losing programming resources because the class is so small, people had to have multiple roles. And so programmers or people that were going to be on the programming team ended up having to go on to modeling team and level design team in order to get those functions done. And so the hardest part was just waiting for some of the stuff to actually be completed so that we could go and now start working on the programming aspect.
Well, I think in retrospect, I think what I would have done is have more up front. I wanted the process to be a kind of holistic process that we could all develop as we went along. But I realize now, and the irony is I've taught this for 5 years now, and I teach it differently each year based on the group that I'm with, and so you never really know what the team is that you're going to be working with until you have the first class. And even after that, what you have to do is you have to say, and we did put this as part of the course, was I want you to submit to me a portfolio and an application for a specific position that you think that you would like. And the challenge of that is that the position you think you would like is often the one that you think you would most enjoy doing. It may not be the one that you would be best suited for. And so that's the challenge as the instructor, that I would have to then go and say, yes, you've been able to demonstrate in this portfolio that you could do that, or no, I don't think that you're right for that, or even to say, you haven't applied for the leadership position, but I think that you have leadership qualities and that maybe you should step up and take those on. Well, I think this has been a really interesting year of all the years that I've taught this course, and we've done a lot of really interesting games, and it's always a challenge having this. I think the downside of it was, this course is stuck in a one-night period of 3 hours once a week, which is just a crappy format for a game course, but it's sort of what I'm stuck with, and if I can change that, I will. And also, if I can make this an annual game course as opposed to a biannual, I think then I would have some sort of consistency here, word of mouth, and I think that would improve things.
It's really different. It's an interesting game. It targets an audience that isn't really utilized in the video game industry, so I think there's definitely a market for it. We have a good team, really inventive people with some cool ideas. It should be fun.
Well, so far, it looks really good. We don't have a full set completion yet. By the end of this, though, it's going to be 100% done. So far, though, it's going to be really interesting. Who doesn't love games? Who doesn't love being on the moon, low gravity, and all that kind of stuff? And I don't think it's just going to be for kids. Obviously, it's that's who it's towards, but at the same time, it's going to have, you know, some challenge and stuff to it that everybody would want to play.
Because it's awesome. We should play this game because it's different. I think it is a kids game, but it has a very unique look to it, and it's cross genre, and it's interesting.
Well, I think it's the game design itself and the concept is actually quite interesting. And looking at it, although it's been designed for girls ages 8 to 12 or 14, somewhere in that area, I think there's others that would actually end up playing it. Like when I look at my 14-year-old son and the types of games that he's playing, it's the kind of thing that he would actually probably play as well. And instead of having a female, if you had a male, so that they could go and just configure or create their own standard character, they would enjoy working or playing the game as well.
I'm Thilo Schaller.
My name is Ahad Saman.
My name is Ethan Lent.
I belong to the audio team. I'm teaching the advanced audio engineering course in the digital audio arts, and I've made this project part of this course. So I'm kind of the sound supervisor, audio supervisor for music and sound effects. The main duty is probably bringing the students all on the same line to work in the same atmosphere of sounds, so that instead of collecting individual sounds, it all makes a cohesive, it makes sense, so that you can put all these sounds together and create an atmosphere which matches, instead of having all these loose ends, which are nice sounds by itself, but don't create a whole.
I'm working with T and also Tony, but we basically, all of us have very similar, at this point, we are creating the sounds, so I am creating the ambient sound design, environmental sounds, just coming up with sounds. That's what we're doing right now.
I'm considered to be in the ambience department of sound design for the game, and also a variety of things as engineering, sound engineering, or helping out with any other related topics, but mainly coming up with parts that are background noise when you're walking and on the moon and the wind sounds, or there's maybe a little music in the background. It just keeps repeating once in a while, so we're in charge of that.
So in the game, I was part of the Foley team. So far we've captured a lot of different sound effects. We spent a lot of time just in the backyard, taking things like the garden hose, trying to get water sounds and all kinds of different things like that, walking around on different surfaces to try and capture footsteps, and I don't know, just capturing all kinds of different effects.
I've been working on a few things. I've been helping students when they come with sounds. I show them how they can take these sounds and transform them into something else, or layer a few sounds. I haven't. We have recorded in the course within the labs. We basically record a few sounds and bring them together. So in that sense, I have created assets, but always with what the students bring to the labs.
Well, the first project we had, I personally had the crash landing scene. My partners also had the same project, but they did something else in terms of the environment, and I had the basic crash of the shuttle, or however they're gonna come, and the breathing sounds and the basic how it's gonna sound like. So even I tried to do bird sounds and stuff. Even it's just imagination. We have layers and layers of sounds. We don't know which one we were going to use at the end, but now we're just coming up with ideas. So that's basically what we're doing right now.
As a group, we have looked at the pictures being developed, the maps for the game, and a little bit of animations the characters and the monsters and the creatures will have. Not monsters, I guess. That's a negative kind of way of looking at it. But we've analyzed what needs to be done for sound, and how we could affect the user who's playing the game in a positive way, instead of having harsh sounds or scary sounds. We decided to keep it pleasant and happy.
We used a small portable recording device and a microphone that was easy to carry around wherever. A lot of these sounds are very location based, so you don't necessarily have, a recording studio to record them in. So, just a portable thing. Walk around wherever you got to go. You can record something right on the spot.
For me, most of them, the easiest part is creating the sounds. Once you imagine them, just creating them from your imagination, it's very easy.
I don't know if there's easy part. It's pretty fun overall. I mean, just recording sounds.
The easiest parts were making the sounds. It's always the funnest one usually. Sometimes really funny sounding sounds, or just random things that you like opening a book or something, or closing it and shaking it, going out in the wind, and you're driving around. You have a microphone outside your car or something like that. So those are always fun. Yeah, they've been the easiest.
I don't know. It's hard to say what was easy. It's hard to compare what was hard and what was easy when you enjoy it all, right? I really enjoyed everything, so I can't exactly say.
The hardest part, on the other hand, is always, especially if you work in a team, getting all the team members into the same mood and into the same atmosphere, and make them work together into the same direction.
I think the hard part is if you can't match something that you're imagining it just not matching. That's a hard part, but I don't know if there's an easy part. It's just basically pretty even.
It's having the sense of knowing what to do with the sound that you captured. So we do a variety of sounds that we can find that is fitting, and then we'll go through it and see, okay, I have this map or level I'm working for, and what are these sounds, which one could I take out of the collection. The hardest part comes after that, is taking that and molding it into what the result will be. And that stage, usually there's no formula for it. You have to just know what you're going for, and to know that it takes sometimes 2 minutes or hours, or who knows, depending on the sound. So I find it, because there's no way of formulating that, for me it's probably the hardest part.
Well, actually the hardest thing is not actually coming up with sounds. It's trying to just get those sounds. Everywhere you go, there's noise. We went out of town, even to a park, to try and get some sounds, and we could hear construction in Lethbridge. It's really difficult to get away from the noise.
They should probably play the game because it's a very creative game. It's obviously I'm speaking from the sound point. I mean, it's been very creative from the visual standpoint as well, but it's a great game for sound designers, because obviously there shouldn't be any sound on the moon at all, because there's no sound on the moon. Nope. That's great for us, because we actually get to create sounds which do not have to relate to something people know. So that hopefully adds a lot to the game. And it's a very exploring game, and very colorful, and this sound's going to be different than in other games you find, and the visuals as well. So I think it's a very beautiful game in the end.
Well, so far, as far as I know, I'm pretty excited because it's got like cartoon characters, like Japanese stuff, and Barbie, and it's also sci-fi. So it's a really nice cocktail. So I would like to play it.
I personally want to play it, and I think people should, because it's going to be something different that maybe I haven't played. Just a game where you just go around and instead of playing Call of Duty or killing things, I think this will be a good change, where it's not harmful, or I don't know if you would call it that, but more peaceful, and you could just don't have to think about anything. You just it's an easy playing game. I think it'll be pleasant to explore. It's an exploring game, so I'm looking forward to it, and I think people will play it. If they do, it will be because of that. They just want to maybe get away from things and take a little break. I think it'll be good for that.
I think you should play it because it encapsulates a lot of creativity from a lot of people who are, people like you and me. We know we know these people. It's good to support the creative, intellectual properties of the people that went, of the work that went into this video game. I think it's going to be fun, and you're going to hear a lot of neat things and experience a lot of neat things in the game. I think it's going to be a cool experience.
All right.
Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what Are you filming this right now? Oh gosh. You ruined it. But yes. But still, considering how much time.
So Steph, enjoying your peanut butter and apple.
Oh my god. Are you filming this?
Jesus. Look at the camera right. You could if you want.
Yeah, not really gonna happen.
No?
Yeah.
Fine.
There's bacon vodka. Miller had it. He said it was actually pretty good if you mix it in a Caesar, because then it's like a Caesar, but then we're being videotaped when talking about booze. Hey! 3D models, model.
3D model with the booze. Makes perfect combo.
Booze makes everything better.
Way down there.
It's just like, what's happening out here?
Just a millionaire. Bloopers.
Just kidding.
The animation process, we got our models and the concept art, and we
Come on! Well, I can't see the red light. I don't know. It's there. There it is. Sorry, Josh. Sorry, Brian.
Take 3.
Take.
We're good.
Okay. Go ahead, Brian. You can laugh if you want.
Are we being filmed?
Yes.
Well, this is awkward.
How the hell is this awkward?
Would you stop filming us?
Why?
I'll beat you with a stick.
Bring it on.